remind me to record because I'm really bad at remembering. Thank you, Janelle's. All right. So before I go into my theorem, let's actually take a look at this for a second. So the midsegment connects the midpoints of two of those sides. So in other words, what is the midpoint of AB?
E.
D. So in this case, what two side lengths would be congruent?
DE.
DE?
Wait. Can you repeat what you said?
Okay. If, like you just said, D is the midpoint, what would be congruent?
AB and BC.
Because no, that doesn't tell me that. D is the midpoint of what?
AB.
Of AB. So what two sides are equal? AD, yeah. So AD
Oh.
would be equal to DB, right? But then on the other side, E is the midpoint
Of
of what?
BC.
Of BC.
So it'd be CE and EB.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got it.
So BE would be equal to CE. Now, would that mean anything else? Does that tell me any other congruency?
Now.
That's all. So I can't say that DB is congruent to BE or that AD is congruent to EC. All I know is that each side has been split in half. Okay, triangle midsegment theorem. Tyrone?
The segment joining the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side, and its length is half the length of that side.
Okay, take a moment to write it down while I finish this last bite of my lunch.
We had midpoint, now we have mid-segment.
Okay. If you're not done writing, keep writing. Let's label this diagram. So copy down triangle ABC with midsegment DE. Go ahead and copy it down as best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but make sure you label each of those vertices and the point D and E. And we're just going to mark it up a little bit. So after I have copied it down, what can I mark to show that it's congruent?
B, D, and DA.
D, B, and DA, yeah.
And CE and EA.
And CE and EA. So there's two pairs of congruent sides. And then based on the triangle midsegment theorem, what else can I mark up on this diagram? Read it again to yourself. What else can I mark up on my diagram?
AE? Or wait.
Are there any key words in the midsegment theorem? Anyone?
I was trying to say something, but you can't hear her because her mic is weird.
Okay, Jalen in the chat says parallel. Okay, there you go. That's the key word. What two sides are going to be parallel?
E, and BC.
DE
Carla said that, by the way.
and BC. Exactly. So I can mark that up as well. So those two are parallel. And one last thing is that the length of the midsegment is half the length of the third side. So that means that DE is 1/2 of BC. Okay, so those are all of the properties of the midsegment, and we're going to do some problems related to all of that. So do I have any questions right now? All right. Okay, so as usual, we can solve some problems using the midsegment theorem. So let's look at number 11. It wants us to find the value of n in each of those triangles. And let me just label this triangle so that we can talk about it more clearly. Based on the midsegment theorem, what do I know about the relationship between the midsegment and side BC?
Wait, can you repeat what you said?
Based on the midsegment theorem, what do I know about the relationship between the midsegment and side BC? I know that they're parallel. What else do I know?
They're half length.
Yeah, so which one is half the length of the other? Good,
Carla said
Perla. DE, the midsegment, is half of the third side of BC. So I can go ahead and use the values that I have and figure out my answer. So because of this relationship, I know I can set up 6n equals 1/2 of 48. And from there, I can solve and figure out the value of n. So take a moment. What is the value of n? I'm seeing 24. I'm seeing 4. Let's think about it, see if that changes your answer. Perla says 4. Janelli says 4. Good. How'd you guys get 4? Alejandro says 4. Good. How'd you get 4? All of you got 4. How'd you get it?
Janelle's gonna say it.
Okay, Janelli's, go ahead. 4 times 6 is 24, and that's half of 48. Yeah, so 6n, half of 48 is 24. Divide both sides by 6, you get 4. Not too bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What about number 12? Same idea. Same idea, same exact relationship. Can anyone set up the equation for me?
Would it be 11.3 equals 1/2 of n plus 4.2?
However, this one's going to be a little more challenging because we've got that fraction. So see if you can figure it out. Take a few minutes. This is algebra practice. Let's see who can get it first. Yes, yes, you can turn it into a decimal. "30 more seconds. If no one has an answer in 30 seconds, Miss Lopez is going to be disappointed." All right, 30 seconds over. All right, so I have two answers in the chat. I'm going to share what they are. I got 11.4 from one student who, or 18.4, sorry. 18.4 from one student who didn't put it on private. And I got, what was the other one? 92/5. So those are two answer choices that I've received so far. Let's check it out. I have a fraction, I have parentheses. What do I do?
Distribute.
Yeah, I'm going to distribute. Yeah, I have a fraction. That's all good. That's fine. This is an easy fraction anyways. So 1/2 times n is just 1/2 n. 1/2 times 4.2. Remember, 1/2 is the same as just dividing it by 2. So what's 4.2 divided by 2?
2.1.
2.1. Easy. Now what do I do to both sides?
Subtract.
Subtract what?
2.1.
2.1. What's 11.3 minus 2.1?
9.2.
9.2. So 9.2 equals 1/2 n. But now what do I have to do?
Divide.
I have a fraction. What do I have to do? What do I do with I gotta get rid of that fraction. Guys, what do I do? Multiply. Multiply by what?
Cross. No.
I would multiply by 2, by the denominator. Guys, if you got it, this is easy, easy, easy stuff. This is not hard. If I need to get rid of that fraction, I'm just going to multiply by the denominator because that cancels it out. Bye-bye, 2. What am I left with on the left? 2 times 9.2. What does that give me?
18.4. Pearl was right.
18.4. Which, if you actually divide 92 divided by 5, also gives you 18.4. So both of them were right. Okay? Guys, I should not I should not be seeing anyone be afraid of a fraction at this point. If you still look at fractions and it makes you shiver with fear, listen up. Welcome to the real world. You cannot let fractions get the best of you. You guys are smarter than that. Do I have any questions? Okay. All right. So that's a couple of problems. Now here's a couple for you guys to do on your own. I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock. 5 minutes to work these out. See what you get for n for both answers, both problems. About a minute and a half left. "30 seconds. And time. Okay, number 13. Who can tell me? What do I do? Okay, Perla doesn't want to type everything. Someone else. What's the equation I'm setting up?
6n is equal to 1/2 of n plus 12.
So you're telling me that half of this will be the other one? Which one is half of which other one? Which one is the one that's smaller?
6.
This is smaller. This whole line segment is smaller. Can anyone please talk, guys? I swear, I'm getting annoyed. I know Perla can't talk. She's the only one who has an excuse. N plus 12 is smaller. So use your logic. Try again. What's the equation going to be?
Would it be n plus 12 equals 1/2 of what?
1/2 of what? Oh, I see. Yes, 6n. Yeah, that's it. Okay, now I'm going to solve it. What's 1/2 of 6? 3. What do I do to get n by itself? Minus n. What's 3n minus n? 2n. Divide both sides by 2, what do I get? 6. That should not have been difficult. If you had an issue with it, check your work and make sure you're doing it correctly. Because again, this should not be hard. Number 2, what's my equation? Speak up. What's my equation for number 2 or number 14? Four n plus 9 equals 1/2 of 14n. Okay, easy. What's half of 14? Good, 7n. Now what? Minus 4n. What's 7 minus 4? 3. And I divide both sides by 3. I get n equals 3. I just did that in 30 seconds, guys. It should not be taking you at this point. If it's really still taking you more than 5 minutes to get this done, I am worried for you to pass that EOC. I would be worried. If you cannot do this in 5 minutes, start worrying now. Okay, I know that you guys have to move to a different classroom. Are you guys doing that now? No? Okay. So can we do one more question? Okay. So go ahead and let's take a look. We're going to summarize now this mid-segment theorem. Line XY is the mid-segment of M and P. Determine whether each of the following statements is true or false. Select the correct answer for each lettered part. Okay, so let's take a look. So I have a bunch of different relationships, trying to figure out which ones are true and which ones are false. So the first one tells me that MP equals 2 times XY. True or false? Perla says true. Do we agree? Tyrone agrees. Who else agrees? That's it. Tyrone and Perla, they're the only students in my class. Jalen agrees. Janelli says false, but she's not sure. Daniel says true. Eric says true. Okay, so the answer here is true. MP is twice the length of XY because it goes both ways. Okay, we've been writing that XY is half of MP, but you could write it the other way around. 2 times XY would be MP. Both ways works. B, MP is half of XY. Is that true or false? MP is half of XY. Tyrone says true, Perla says false. Tyrone says wait, no, false. Okay. Who else? Is this true or false? False, false. Majority wins. Good, this one's false. Okay. C, MX, let me highlight it. MX equals XN. True or false? MX equals XN. Tyrone says true. Perla says true. Janelli says true. How do I know that they are in fact good? Eric says true. How do I know that they are in fact equal? What is X? Good. X is the, if XY is the mid segment, what is X? Good. Midpoint. Okay, so that's true. Letter D, MX equals 1/2 of NX.
False.
Do we agree? False, false, false. Good.
Because they're already equal to each other.
We know that they're equal, yeah. And last two, E, NX is equal to YN.
False.
So NX and YN. Are those two equal?
False.
False. How do we know that's false? Do we know anything about whether these two are equal?
Mm.
No, we don't. Okay, good. So that's false. And then finally, xy, let me highlight. Xy is 1/2 of MP.
True.
True. Jalen says true as well. Anyone else agree?
Yes.
Okay, they're leaving. Okay, you guys move to your other classroom. Everybody else, take a look at this question and start thinking about it, but you don't have to answer it until they have moved and we're all back. Okay, so just think of this as a short break. Or how to understand like the relationships. All right. So now I have like three, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4 test questions, test prep questions. All right, so I want you guys to take a look at these. I'll do the poll. I'm gonna have you guys only spend about 5 minutes per question because we don't have that much time. All right, so go ahead and get started on number 1. Send an answer in the chat, or send an answer on the poll, I mean, when you have it. Go ahead. All right, so far I have 1 answer in the poll. This should be a pretty easy one. Let's go. Let's see how quickly you can get it done. Read it carefully, pick your best choice, put it in the poll. Two votes are still in. Guys, let's go. 5, no, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How come I only have 3 answers? This is ridiculous, guys.
I have 3 answers.
Daniel answered it like right away. Only 4 of you voted.
Too.
What is going on? Where is everyone? Y'all better have a good answer for me because I'm starting to get upset.
In their happy place.
Okay. Well, here's the results. Answer choice D won. This was an easy problem. Who can explain it? Who can explain? Why is answer choice D correct?
Because you have to get a total of 180 to have a triangle. And No? That's
Nope,
it?
that would be if we were talking about angles, but that's not what we're talking about.
Well, I failed.
Oh, I see. I didn't see Jalen's answer till now. AB is half of DC. Yeah, guys, this is the mid segment. This is the third side. What do we know? We know that BA is 1/2 of DC. In other words, you could say that 2 times BA is DC. And if BA is 60, then DC has to be twice of 60. 2 times 60. 2 times 60 is 120. Boom, done. This is not a hard problem. And if I only had 3 people answer it correctly, that means that there are questions. So what are your questions? Ask it now or forever hold your peace. Going once. Going twice. There's some classmates I haven't heard a single word from all day. Emily, Samaj, Alejandro. Either you guys have it 100% or you're just sitting there staring blankly at the screen and not asking questions. Either one is bad. Okay, question number 2. This one I can't do a poll because it's not multiple choice. Can I have a volunteer read?
Miss Lopez,
Mm-hmm.
I can't log into anything. I can't even log into my portal.
Okay, just watch from Janelle's screen.
All right.
So we have some missing angles in this entire triangle. There's a lot of missing pieces. We're going to piece it together and see how many we can figure out. Take 5 minutes to figure out how many of those you can calculate starting now. If you have any answers, you can put them in the chat. Okay, I'm going to give you guys 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds. And
Ms. Lopez, I have an answer.
okay, just wait till everybody finishes up because I don't want to give anything away.
Okay.
When we get back together, I want one person for each of those to tell me what it is and how you got it. So start thinking about which one you want to tell me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So, okay, Jalen, you want to go first? Go ahead and share what one of those, how you got it, what it is and how you got it. So 180 minus 132 gives you 48. That's correct. So that would be which one? Angle A? Yeah, good. So yes, angle A is 48 degrees because you subtract from 180. Who would like to go for number 2, angle B? Daniel, go ahead.
Me. B is
Go ahead.
92
B is 92. How'd you get that?
because so I got 180. I subtracted 88 and I got 92.
Nice, perfect.
It
Angle
was very easy.
Yeah, that one was not bad. How about angle C?
88.
How'd you get
No.
that? Ooh, good, Eric. Ooh, I love the way you say that. Yeah. So 88
Oh, yeah, it
because
is a reflection because they're
it's a reflection,
perpendicular.
but there's a word for that. What's the vocabulary word? It does start with V.
A vertical angle.
Vertical angle.
Protruding.
So those two are verticals. Okay. And then finally for D, well, obviously it's the only one left over, but how do you actually calculate that to get 44? What's the math? Anyone?
Me, Miss.
Go ahead.
If you have 88 plus 48, that's equal to 132, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you add 44, oh, never mind. I thought it was going to be equal to 180, I think.
Is 88
Never
plus
mind.
48 132?
No.
It's 136.
Oh, 136. There we go. Now
There we
that
go.
And then if you add 44, it will equal to 180.
180 minus 136 gives me 44.
Yeah.
So yes, that's because every triangle adds up. And this is something Daniel said earlier, but you were talking about the wrong thing, unfortunately. But you were right when you said that all triangles add up to 44, but it was to 180, but it's 180 degrees. So we're looking at the angle measurements, not the side lengths. Okay, 2 more questions left. And then we'll be done a little bit early. All right, can I have a volunteer read this one if possible? I don't know, Tyrone, if you can, if you want to. Someone else could read also.
Miss, what is a brace?
We'll read it and then we'll see. Are you gonna read? No, anyone? No one?
Miss,
Okay.
can I read?
Oh, yeah, yes, go. I've been asking for 20 minutes.
Sorry. The figure above represents a swing set. The support on each side of the swing set are connected from two 12-foot poles connected by a brace at their midpoint. The distance between the base of the two poles is 5 feet.
Okay, so this is the brace. And it tells you that the brace is connected at the midpoint. So what does that make that brace?
Yes, yeah.
Mid what?
Mid-segment?
Segment.
Mid-segment.
So what is the
9.
length? What is the length of each brace?
So
Is this, I want to say 6.
so
each
it's
brace.
in the center, which is 6 feet high, but
But that's not the length of it. How long is the actual brace, the red brace?
And 5.
It's 5?
no, it's not 5 because the base at the bottom is 5
Oh,
and it
okay.
shrinks.
Yeah, I didn't hear clearly, but can you say that again, Jalen? What is it?
2.5.
2.5. Because if the
30,000
bottom is 5,
million? What?
if the bottom is 5, we know the mid segment is half of 5.
Oh.
So it's 2.5.
Oh.
And that's because of the mid segment theorem.
Wow.
Okay. Questions, comments, concerns?
No, I think I understand. Do we have a con on this or?
No, but there will be a quiz tomorrow on this and other things.
Okay, this if it's on this and only this, I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
This question was clear, Perla. This is saying, what is the length of each brace? It tells you that the brace is connecting the midpoints. This was very clear.
Oh, so we're basically saying that the mid segment is just half of the point that
Yes. Okay, last one. In the diagram below, DE is equal.
It's the Triforce.
So DE,
No.
DF, and EF are all mid segments. Okay? All three of those are mid segments if you twist the triangle in different directions. So DE is the mid segment of what?
ABC.
Okay, so ABC. So AB and BC. Yes. Okay, so that's the mid segment of that. What about DF? What is that the mid segment of? F. BA and AC. So it's kind of like if you turn it around, you get the other mid segment. And then finally, EF is the mid segment of
BCA.
BC. Yeah.
BA.
Okay. So we have 3 segments of each of the 3 orientations that this triangle can be turned into. The question is, the perimeter of quadrilateral, okay, so let me trace, quadrilateral A, D, E, F. A, D, E, F.
I know the answer.
Okay, take a look, take a moment. This one's tricky. Daniel, keep patient. You can send it to me privately if you think you know what it is, but stay patiently waiting 5 minutes and then we'll discuss. About 2 minutes left. About a minute left. Those of you who already have the answer and know that it's correct, think about how you would explain it. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. No poll because I don't have enough time. Y'all take too long when I ask you to do a poll. If I already told you that the answer that you chose was correct, can you please share what that answer is? A couple of you.
The answer is D.
It's D.
D, good. Let's actually talk about it though. So what do I know? Okay, in this quadrilateral, right? Couple of things that you can point. So in other words, if you got the correct answer, would anyone like to explain why?
Miss, can I say how I did it?
Sure.
It's kind of confusing, but it's just how like I processed it.
Okay.
So first I did like process of elimination,
Mhm.
and then I got to D. So AD is half of AB, right?
Mhm.
And then I saw that this is confusing. Now I'm confusing myself.
That's okay.
DE is half of AC.
Mhm.
So then I thought DE is basically the same as AF, like they're congruent. That's
Mhm.
what I thought. So that's the segment AC. And then you're just left with AD, and then you need another one, which is gonna be DF. Or FE. That's confusing, but that's how I thought about it.
Can I
Yeah.
say how I got it?
Go ahead.
Well, I did what she did. I did process of elimination, then I got D, and it says the quadrilateral. I don't know.
Quadrilateral.
Yeah, that, and then all those sides are equal. A, D, D, E, and E, F. They're all equal. So I basically folded it around, and I found out it's the same size.
Interesting. Okay. So I want to go with Perla's explanation. You're not wrong, Tyrone, but what Perla said matches more with what we've learned today. So Perla realized that AD and EF are congruent, right? And we also know that AD is congruent to BD. Those are also congruent. Because EF is the mid segment of that triangle. So we know that EF is half of AB. So we were able to figure that out. And then the other half of it is that AF is congruent to FC. So altogether, when you actually put it all together, you have AB and AC. And that's why answer choice D is correct. So this one was tricky. It definitely was tricky. But good job to those who got it correct. As a reminder, there's con due Friday at midnight. What else is due tonight?
The inscribed circle drawing.
Inscribed circle. I haven't.
And the circumscribed one if you didn't.
You didn't do it yet. So I only got 4 submissions for the circumscribed circle. That was due last night. So those who didn't do that, I'm calling y'all out. Eric, Daniel, Samaj, Alejandro, you guys have to do that. And it'll be a late grade, so it'll be less than an A, but that's better than a 0. And then tonight is the inscribed circle. Make sure you send that to me before midnight. And then on Friday, it's the Khan Academy. Okay? Any questions, comments, concerns?
No.
Okay. If you need to know how to contact me, I posted it all on Teams, so you don't need to look very far. All right, we're all done. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go now because my head really hurts. I need a break. Goodbye.